let's talk a little bit about how to set up your Raspberry Pi when you first get it, how you start using it. Step one, first thing you're going to want to do is plug in the monitor and plug in a keyboard and a mouse. That's the easiest way to set this thing up is to use it as a regular laptop desktop. You can do it other ways, but this is by far the easiest way to go. So get a monitor, plug it into HDMI, and get a keyboard and a mouse, hopefully, and plug them into USB ports. Those are your interface to the device, so you'll be able to set it up using the monitor, keyboard, and mouse. So you start with that. Then, before powering it on, you need to get an operating system on the Raspberry Pi. Now, when you get this Raspberry Pi, initially, it doesn't have an operating system built into it. It needs one, though. It needs some operating system to execute. So now it has a micro SD card slot, right? So you're going to get a micro SD card, and you're going to put the operating system onto that micro SD card. That is your goal. There are several ways to do that, but that's your goal. So you need to get the OS image onto the micro SD. Now, how do you do that? How you do that depends on what you got when you bought the Raspberry Pi. So how do you install the operating system on there? So the easiest thing to do is to use this software, new out-of-box software. Noobs, it's called. This is from Raspberry Pi. So it should come bundled. So if you buy the Raspberry Pi, as I did, and it came bundled with an SD card, a micro SD, then it'll be pre-installed on your micro SD, which is, of course, easiest. If it's not, if you didn't get it pre-installed on the micro SD, then you have to buy a micro SD card and put Noobs on there. Now you can download Noobs. You got the website up there. You can download Noobs from the Raspberry Pi website. So if you have to do that, if it's not pre-installed, you're going to have to take your micro SD card. You're going to have to format it. FAT format is typical. You're going to have to format it, and for that you'll need an SD card reader. Now, some computers, some desktops have slots just for SD cards. One of mine doesn't, so you have to buy a reader. But it's cheap. I think I paid $10 for this thing. It's a little device. For mine, it's a little device. I put my micro SD in there, and then it has a USB interface, and I plug the USB into my computer. Right. So you can get something like that, or it might be built into your desktop. But or laptop, whatever it is, you plug that into your computer, and then you format the thing. Once you format it, then you download Noobs from the Raspberry Pi website. You extract its archive. So basically, if you're on a desktop, you double-click on it, it'll extract, hopefully automatically if you have the software built in, or you have to get some extraction software like 7-Zip. I get for free an application called 7-Zip. But you can download that and extract it, and then you get the image, and then you just put that on the SD card. Okay, so once that's on the micro SD card, then you have to take the micro SD card and plug that into your Raspberry Pi. Now, once you plug the micro SD card into your Raspberry Pi, and it has the operating system on it, then you power up the Raspberry Pi. So you plug it into power. Now, Noobs will start running. So on the screen, you'll see some text, some images, and so on. But eventually, you'll get Noobs. Now, Noobs, what you see at the bottom there is what Noobs looks like, the window that it pops up. So it pops up a window that basically gives you a list of choices of operating systems to install. Now, Noobs comes with maybe a couple of operating systems, Raspbian, which is, these are all Linux distributions, Raspbian, Arch, a bunch of different Linux distributions. It'll give you a list of Linux distributions. Now, if you are connected to the network, it'll give you a long list. Right now, let's assume you're not, because I want to get to the network connectivity later. But if you were connected to the network, it would give you a long list because it'll allow you to download a bunch of different Linux distributions. But if you're not connected to the network, it'll only give you a short list, which includes the ones that are part of Noobs. And Raspbian is the one that says recommended. That's the one you should take. So go with Raspbian. Raspbian is a Linux distribution. It's a Raspberry Pi version of the Debian distribution. Debian is a popular distribution. So get Raspbian, so select that. And then it'll install it on your micro SD. And so Noobs is pretty easy to use. It'll install it, you get a choice, you select Raspbian. And that should be it. Thank you.